right, I'm back. So I have been doing really well with getting some videos out ahead of time. So hopefully I'll be able to keep this up. You know, they say get in the habit and it does well. So we'll see. I'm in Indescribable again with Crayola pencils again. Let's see, this page right here, To the Depth of the Sea. Again, this book was from Mardel's off of the bargain area. So I think I spent like $5 for it. Let me tell you all the different colors because I have already done this part. Let's blow it up. In this top section, I used blush. Again, this is Crayola. Colored it down about halfway. Then came into the blush with magenta from about right along in here going in. Then I moved to one of these colors, to red violet. Went to red violet. And I used that then all from the bottom going up. And then in these areas here and here, I used macaroon. Yeah. All right. So yeah, because of the glare, it's hard for me to see what that is. But anyway, and then I'm just telling you that because I've already done it and I knew somebody was going to come back and say, ooh, what colors did you use? That's the colors I used. All right. And yes, I've already done that on both sides. This is another one of those pages that mirrors. So, all right, get my book settled there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through how to do all of this. Because a lot of times we think, oh, well, we'll just do the bottom or the top, whichever way you're going, in the light, then the medium, and then the dark. But with this, to get that movement, you have to be careful what comes around where. So that's what I'm going to go over. So I'm going to start over here and work my way down slowly. All right, whatever I get time for is what I get time for. I'm going to try not to get into a hurry. So I am starting with lilac. That's going to be my lightest color. And that's still Crayola. So like here, I would just come in with this lilac. Just start getting that in. Very soft, not worried about going really hard and getting all of the tooth out of the paper. Not at all. Then I'm going to come over here. Now, you see where here it suddenly curves? So I'm going to come just to this line. Okay? Because this is wrapped around, that line would be a little bit darker. Okay? So then I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to be coming across. But then I know that's going to be darker, so I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. Come up with lilac. Okay. Here's another one of those lines. This dips in. That's going to be a little bit darker. Here's one of those lines. I'm going to come through here. All right. Now, there's another one of these little flimsy things, whatever you call them. I'm sure there's a name for them, that comes through here. So I'm going to do this area that's part of these darker. Okay? Just going to do it darker and let that do its own thing. But here's one. This one's coming. And there's a line. So that might be a little bit darker right there. I'm going to go ahead and put some light in. Here's a line, so anything behind that would be darker, anything in front of that would be lighter. And notice I'm trying to watch out for these lines that are coming through. I'm probably going to use a glitter gel pen for that. Okay, not overly sure yet. And when you come in here, you're tempted to go ahead and color this, but look, if you take it on down, that's really space right here. It's not another piece. So I want to be sure I'm staying in the lines where I need to be. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Now I can go ahead and do this little double line area. Okay, let's go ahead and change over to my second color. My second color is royal purple. So what I'm going to do is come up from that first area, or go down into that first area with this color. So I'm a little more firm up here, and then as I go down in, I get softer. What I'm trying to do is come in with the one color here and another color here and interlock them. So where they overlap, you've got to be soft enough that you can actually do some blending. Now remember here, we said it would be a little bit darker because it goes back in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that just brings this ruffle over the top of this one by doing that. Okay, see how doing this a little bit darker pushes it to the back? Same thing on this one. Going to be a little bit darker here. Blending in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change pencils to our darkest color. I'm going to plum again. We've used these three together before, so that's why I say again. Actually, let me go back to the second color because I need to come in here and go across this. Okay, second color. So whatever colors you're using, the second one's there. Okay, now to the plum. So I'm going to do this and blend. Do up in here and then blend down. And again, being careful not to get all these little trailing bits because I'm going to gel pen those. I will also gel pen this up here on the top with those pinks. I just think a gel pen would add some glittery dimension to this that will look nice. Okay, now remember we said this ruffle is behind, so I'm going to go a little bit darker, let it fade out, and then come up through here. And see how now this one popped up to the front just a little? Now I'm feeling like I need a little bit more lilac, that first color, right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Even though this is a V, I'm not going to go darker in there. Just because I don't want it to fight with all the color through here. I'm not going to do those V's this time. I know I'm always saying do your V's, not this time. So now I went back to royal purple, my second color. I'm going to come up through here. Come up in here, blending. Same thing here. Now I can come on down here because there's a little fold and it pops this one up and pushes that one back. Okay, see how that works? Now the other thing is all of this right here is continued from here. So I do want to bring this color up and this area up. So I'm going to come and just keep coming across here. Okay, then I'm going to come in with my darker shade and get these in there. That is that one of those little things coming down, or is that part of that? I want to say it's going to be part of that, in which case I need to grab my second shade and put that in, then come back to my third. And I'm showing you this in real time so that you can see sometimes there are those little times when you second guess, okay, what's going where? What do I need to do? Okay. It's not always cut and dry. And then this one, because it's coming out from behind that one, and I want to blend that out. Blend these out some. Okay. And once you've done one side, you can match the other side to it, or you could go down and do both sides at the same time. Okay, whatever you find easiest for what you're doing. Now here, this one's going across. This one is tucked behind, so I know I'm going to go here. And then this, but then some of this is underneath, so I will be bringing some of the medium shade up under there. Now see, this is behind because it's ruffled. So I can go into there some, but then it's going to get darker. This right here can be there, but then it's going up underneath, so it needs to be darker. This is in, so it needs to be darker. So I'm saying, don't let these frustrate you. Take your time, look and see what you've got going on. And if you've done a little bit and then you think, I need to just stop, go on with my other colors, then do that. So I'm back to my second color. So we said this went behind. This is coming up underneath the actual bubble of the jelly. Jellyfish are kind of cool looking. I'm assuming this is a jellyfish or something thereof. Now this is where I said it was going up under, so we would need to be just a little bit darker. Remember, this is going to be darker because it goes behind. Notice I left just that one little piece of white. That's because that's where I'm going to put the next shade, because we're dealing with 3 shades right now. And then coming up, this one is behind this one. See how it curves and then there's a line coming up? That's your guiding line. So that tells me that's where the dark comes in. And then it will go all the way over. Now I don't want to get this, but it comes over to here. Then I'm going to go to my third, my darkest. I believe it's plum. Yes, it is plum that we're using today. Just getting these darker colors in, and that pushes that back to the back. Okay, same thing up under here. If I do that a little bit darker up under here, it pushes this up to the front. Then here's that line again. Here's the curve. Blending. Another curve and blending. And then these. Let's go back to the lightest. I think I got that one already a little bit. I didn't do this one. Then the medium. See, it's okay to do each section as you go. There's nothing wrong with that. Do what works for you. And then my dark. If there's enough tooth in the paper, you could do the whole thing one shade and then come back and add your darks. There's not enough tooth in this paper to do that. I would end up not being able to add any darks. Now, remember this in here? I said that that's behind. So I'm going to take this being careful not to get these, and I'm going to go ahead and do it dark. Just do that and be done with it. Okay, now this bit through here, remember when we look down on the other side of this line, it's just a wispy. So I don't want to fill that in. I don't want to fill this in. I would start again right here. Okay, that dips a little, so that could be a little bit darker. Let's look at this side. I'm looking ahead to see if there's any wispies coming out of these lines, and there's not. Okay, the only wispy is right here. So I will avoid that and just go here. And then where it dips in, those dips will be a little bit darker. Okay, going all the way down to this one. And you might look and say, well, how do you know if this side of the dip is darker or if this side of the dip is darker? You just kind of have to tell yourself, which way am I going to go, or is it maybe both? It's both. So I'll show you as we keep going. So we're going to travel on down. See, this is straight way. This is a dip. This is a straight way. Once you get used to looking for the straights and the dips, it gets a whole lot easier. Okay, middle shade. So now I'm going to come and see there's a line right here. So that's dark. This starts to get dark in this dip. But do you see where there's a line right here? That means on this side of the line, there could be some more dark. Here's a line coming through here that this is attached to. So back in here would be darker, so that that actually pops up a little. And if there's too many dips and stuff, there becomes a point where you say, okay, as long as I've got some lights and darks in there, that I've got those values, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to blend that out real quick. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my darkest. I'm going to get up in there, up in here, and here. Just go down through and make sure you get all those. And I can get a little bit up in here. And then I think I skipped my middle shade in there. So come in with my middle shade. Yeah, that just helps blend it so much better. Let's keep going with the middle shade down here. And in here. I'm going to go back to my lightest. I'm going to go ahead and blend this some. You can blend as you go. You can blend at the end. It really is your preference. Went to my darkest. Yeah, it's really a personal preference on that. And I've even been known to change it up in the middle of the same coloring page. Going back to my lightest because I need to blend a little. And I will probably come back through here and do even more blending later. But you're getting the idea now of what I'm doing down through here. Take one and follow it down. Take another one and follow it down. Make sure you're not getting the in-betweens that really don't have any at all, because they're not really those flowy bits. Okay, so here's another one. Okay, then I'm going to come in. That was color number 1. Color number 2, go up under, go up under, under, and under. I'm missing just a bit of this with my lightest. Go back and put it in. Come in with my darkest. Remember, you've got control of the video on your end. You can pause this anytime you need to. So if I'm doing something too fast or you didn't catch what I was doing, stop it and go back. No big deal. Okay, I'm going to stand up and look through the camera. See how we are on time. 20 minutes. All right. Let's start another section. Now it's the same thing. It really is. So we're coming down. I'm following the straight edge. And right here I see this is background. So I'll be coloring to here. I'll be coloring to here. I'll be coloring to here. And you might say, well, how do you know it's not a different line in there? Look at where the curve is, and right where that curve and that line meet, that's where you're coloring to. Okay, that's how you know how far over you're going. See, and I'm going over to where it indents, and then that's where I'm going to change colors. For here, coming in, and then it indents, that's where I'm going to change colors. And I know where it curves, I want to do a change. Here's a line here. See the curve? There's a line. So that's going to be for this section. Here's a curve. Here's my line. And I want to leave part of that curve for going dark. Here's a big line that goes through here. Notice I didn't go out through here or here, just to where this curve is. Because if you look ahead down there, you'll see that that is a wispy or tendrils. And then your next one actually came out from here. Okay, this one comes out from here, goes over. Hopefully this is bringing a little bit of clarity to you on doing ruffles. If you're doing a ruffly dress on a page with clothing, you would look at the same thing for the ruffles. Where the ruffles come out, you're going to go a little bit darker in those areas. And that's how you get that flow and that movement, all that dimension. All right, so now to my second color. Go up underneath this. All right. Curve and the V. Then let's go over here into the curve. Leave just a bit. Don't use up all the white paper because we have another color to add. See, there's a line here and then a curve. So I'm going to do a little bit right there. And that just made that pop up just a little bit, ever so slightly. I didn't have to go for a big pop on it. Just a little one's okay. Just like there's a little one right through here. And while I'm looking at that, I'm going to change to the darkest, because right through here, I do want to put a little bit of dark in there. And that makes this pop forward a little. Okay? And then when I put it here, it's going to make that next area pop forward a little. So this is that third shade. So whatever you're coloring, watch for those little areas. I'm going to go back to my first shade. I'm going to do some blending right here. Just get some blending. There we go. Okay. And you're just going to keep working down that same way. Middle shade, go in there some, blend out. Go in here some, blend out. In the curve, then blend out. In the curve, blend out. You're going to be doing the same thing. Just keep repeating. Here's the curve. This curve is bigger, so that's why I left more area to go darker or medium, so to speak. This one's not as big, so I didn't leave as much, but I will still blend and blend here and blend. All right, my third shade, my darkest, and then I'm going to let you continue on after this. I think at this point you're understanding what we're doing. If there was something in here that you didn't understand, post it in the comments below. And if there's any way for me to come back in and show you, I can maybe tag in another video that will say jellyfish continued or something. Just doing those little areas and blending. Then I'm going to come in with my lightest shade and just make sure that everything got covered and blend those. Just blend those together. Now, see that line? Right now that looks pretty flat. If I come in here with second color, watch what happens here. Second color and blend it out. See how I just popped this up? And then third color, right up here at the top. Blend it out. Now that looks like a ruffle over the top of that other piece. So look for the ruffles. You can find them. See, like this right here, see how all this is underneath this? Same thing here and here, now that I'm looking. So I'm going to take that second shade and I'm going to come in. See, I did it here and here. So let's go and get just underneath there a little bit. And what it's doing is popping this up. Let's push this back by coloring it a little bit. And blend out. Blend that out. Right here. It's going to push this back a little bit. Glad I noticed that. Because I noticed you probably did. And blend that out. Same thing here. And blend it out. See how it just pushed that to the back? See how this is so light right here? We need it to be darker so it looks like it's underneath. So it's coming out from under. So let's deepen that. And then blend it. Okay? All right. I hope that cleared all this up a bit for you on ruffles by doing this jellyfish, which is full of little ruffly bits hanging down. Enjoy. Be sure to click the follow, and we'd love a thumbs up and any comments or suggestions. Thanks, and I will see you again soon-ish.